All right, so I have your book here. For every thought, here's a cookie. And I love the message that you left me, by the way. But yeah, I've been through a few pages. I really enjoyed it. Like, so you start with a word and then you define it. Is that a dictionary definition? Like
so the dictionary definition, but then I give my meaning behind it. Yes.
That's what I really, really enjoyed. Like you basically go off the word and just go off, right? Like whatever comes to mind.
Just go off.
Yeah. I mean, so far, I'm truly enjoying every page, even the short ones. You know.
Love that.
But can you tell me, do you have a favorite page?
I have 2 or 3 favorite pages, but my favorite page is 18, which is really 9. Since you asked me about numbers, 8 plus 1 is 9, and that's my life path number.
Scars?
Yes.
A mark left on the skin or within the body tissue where a wound burned. So that's the actual definition. And then there's like learning to nourish my own words. No.
Let me read for you.
Let you read it.
Let me read for you. All right. So my favorite page is 18 and it's scars. A little message behind that is I was going through a lot of stuff, like I said, behind the scenes. And I felt the only way to release that was through words, through writings. And the first
Do you
word
feel like you didn't have any other way to let it out?
No.
Sometimes we don't, you know?
It was either that or cry, and I think I did both. Yeah, I think I did both. So page 18 is my favorite page. One of them, I have 3. It's Scars is one of them. Body is another one. Once you get to that page is another one. And Mastermind is another one.
Okay. Get there.
So scars, a mark left on the skin or within body tissue where a wound, burn, or sore has not completely healed and fibrous connective tissue has developed. Learning to nourish my own wounds became easier with time, patience, and love. Learning all over to love yourself with the mark left on your skin from the pain within. Scars and burns are one and the same. They hurt like hell, and that's because they aren't completely healed. Your mind, body, and soul are like a 3rd-degree burn. Until you heal it, you'll suffer. I can count on 2 hands how many scars I have that I've nourished. Nourishing those scars became clear to me that they were left on my body for a reason. The reason I have come in contact with is I needed to heal in that season. I got burned to learn. I got cut to create magic within myself. My bones were fractured for future freedom. The lines on my arms were from being trapped created love in the crevices of those same wounds. My marks are my miracles and my wounds are my warning. Keep fighting. You're your own fibrous tissue.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's my favorite page.
Wow. Yeah, like scars are a sign that you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it shows that you have been living.
Yeah, that and it tells a part of your story.
But then, you know, you also have emotional scars.
Yeah.
You know, like you have.
Tells a story.
Yeah, I mean, scars is like traumas that you have to heal from, you know, and
or mistakes that happen from falling. Maybe when you're on a bike, when you were little, you learn something from that. So all scars aren't from trauma, but it could be something that, like we said, we all make mistakes. What would you learn from that mistake?
Well, yeah, I mean, falling when you're trying to walk as a baby.
Exactly. Starts at a young age.
And then, like, riding a bike, of course, you're going to, like, fall a few times. I remember that.
Crash into a tree or 2.
I did that.
Yeah.
I was going downhill. I forgot the brakes were, how to work the brakes.
Exactly. Life hits you hard. Life hits hard. But it teaches you something. Next time, use your brakes.
Is that what it taught me?
Yes.
Should I use brakes? Slow down, I guess? Exactly.
It could be teaching you both. It's a lot of messages in the mistakes that you make in life.
Yeah, I went straight when I was supposed to turn. Like, it was a curve. I was supposed to go straight. It's like, But you lived to tell that story. I did. I actually found a toy. Like, after I wrecked, like, I looked around, there was a toy there. It was one of my favorite toys.
I love that.
So sometimes when accidents happen, good things come with it.
Yes. Gotta see the beauty in it.
Yeah.
And for every rain, there's a rainbow. So.
That's true. You gotta see the beauty in the. What did J. Cole say? You don't remember?
What song?
Happiness in the ugliness and the success or something like that. I forgot.
Something like that. But yes.
Beauty in the ugly, da 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 da, something like that. Anyway, there's beauty in the ugly, So there's beauty in the, seeing things like, there's that saying of the Chinese person somewhere in China where like there's a farmer and then his son died and then his friends were like, damn, that's terrible. And he said, we'll see. And then like, I forgot what the story is, but he just kept going, we'll see. And then like, there was also like something that happened that when he said we'll see, like he was like more open to the, like it's not all terrible.
Right.
So you always gotta be, it's all about perspective,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a page in there on perspective too.
I mean, I feel like perspective is everything.
It is.
Because we gotta find that angle of seeing the world in a way where we get more light, we get more joy.
And seeing perspective from someone else's lens, so that you can get a better idea of who maybe you're talking to or who you're around, having a conversation with, just getting a different perspective and not only seeing things from your perspective, from your lens.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna ask you your age, but like as you gotten older, like what sort of things have changed on like what you appreciate in life?
The things I appreciate just waking up every day. Gratitude. I have to give my affirmations every day before I even get out of bed, because I'm grateful for allowing to wake up with all my limbs.
Did you always have that? Or?
For a while, I've done that. It's been years and years now, since I probably was like 18, 19-ish. I was always given affirmation, given that pep talk.
You're 19 right now.
Yeah, right. It looks that way, right? Nah, I'm 28. We're in divine time.
You gotta tell us your age.
It's okay. I love that. 28, never late, always on time. Divine time, that is. Yeah.
Perfect age. I like that. I wish I was 28. Oh man, I don't even want to say my age.
It's okay. You don't have to.
I'm not. Leave it out. I'm beep.
Okay.
Yeah, but what brings you joy? Or like, for example, for me, like I realized that sometimes we can go a day without like feeling joy. We're like, because we're too busy, like just like with everything, we're like just like stressing out, anger, frustrated, and I'm like wait, like if you look back, like joy, like I can like just spark it up out of nowhere,
right?
And it's all about thinking about changing your perspective.
What brings me joy? Myself. Let's just start there, because
it's a cool ass person, right?
That, and I just feel like I'm not who I used to be. So I have to bring joy to this woman that I'm becoming. The people that I love, that genuinely love me, that make me happy. I love you guys. I know you guys are watching. I love y'all. But what also brings me joy is to make somebody else happy. Even if I'm not having the best of days, I feel like making someone else happy makes me happy, because I know. And it's not even just because I know or that I'm aware that something great is happening, but it just makes me feel good about myself that I'm able to do that, even in the midst of me going through chaos, I feel like. Because I feel like I made something for Tranquility, my clothing brand that's coming out. Creators create in chaos. And I feel like my best work comes when I have like a chaotic mind going on, when I have 1,000 things going on and something great comes from that. So
you have more material to create from.
Exactly. It's like, thank you, I needed that for art. Yeah, exactly.
So you just gotta go through shit.
Yeah, you gotta sit in it to actually get out of it. Like, I feel like a lot of people try to go around life rather than going through life and actually go exactly. But somewhere in your journey, you're probably going to encounter that same thing that you try to go around rather than going through it. Because the universe teaches you over and over the same lesson if you don't get it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Shoot, tell me about it.
Yeah,
I'm telling y'all about it, but tell me about
I'm still
it.
dealing with this. Damn.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't know I already have enough of this. Right. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of times, even myself, I could be an advocate for myself. I've been through the same things over and over, encountered the same people over and over, and that's because I didn't learn my lesson in the time that I learned it, or I didn't get the message that they were trying to teach me in the moment that it was trying to be taught. You know, sometimes because we're young-minded or we're closed-minded, we don't want to take constructive criticism, or we don't want to listen to other because we think we know it all. But in life, we really don't know it all. I literally had a conversation with my grandma the other day. It was such a beautiful thing. I was with both my grandmothers, and we were talking about my book. And to have my grandmothers talk about my book, and they're still alive to be able to do that, is like a beautiful thing. And my book's not just for the younger age, for the people coming up to become better at things that I was doing at that age. It's for older generation too, because a lot of times they're closed-minded on their beliefs or what they were taught when they were our age, or what they weren't taught when they were our age. So
I mean, look, like they probably like can put that book next to Maya Angelou's book. You know?
I love that. Yeah, I told you last time we had an interview, I wanted to be an activist. So I love that. Keep speaking life over me.
But yeah, no, that's the perspective that you have of like having both of your grandmas and like read your book. I mean, it's good that you were aware of that moment, because not a lot of people get that moment. So.
Yeah, and then like the message that she was saying behind it, she was like, I can read a book and I just read through it. She's like, with your book, I have to really sit back and analyze it because it's teaching me things about myself in her 70s, and it's like, wow. She's like, I don't understand where you get that much wisdom from. She said, I've always been smart and I had wisdom, but where do you get your wisdom from? And I had to tell them. It was beautiful for me to be able to tell them. And if y'all are watching, the beautiful thing that made my heart warm was being able to say that it comes from you guys. From the things that you guys went through, from your ancestral DNA.
Yeah, you did the whole impersonation, the accent, how your grandma sounded.
Yeah, just like that. Just like that.
But so you gave them credit for what they had done in your life.
I wouldn't be this person without their DNA running through my veins. I would not be this woman. I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
And learning, though they used to watch me when my mother was at work or when she was out or whatever, I learned from them. Even their way of teaching was sometimes tough love because of what they were taught from back in the day. But it's like, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah,
because sometimes, like, we don't, like, in hindsight, like, we see how those things that they did that maybe back in the day were like, why is grandma being like this? Like, why mom being like this?
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was all, I mean, some of it is just they don't want to deal with you, so they're like, you're staying inside the house, but sometimes it's like keeping you out of trouble or keeping you,
their way of teaching you
something.
The only way that they know.
Exactly. I mean, from what they have, because they're all like, it's what we passed down through generations, whatever they were passed down.
Exactly, through their grandmothers, mothers, and mothers and mothers. Exactly. Yep.
And the beauty is, like, whatever we accumulate, like, our next generation will be better prepared if we decide to pass down. Because you can be a selfish person too and be like, whatever.
Nope. Exactly. Yep.
I mean, there's people like that. But, or you just like give them money and not teach them any lessons.
Money cannot teach the lessons that we It's gonna be spoiled and be out here unaware of things.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What kind of I don't know if you have any kids, but
no kids, just a doggy.
Shout out to
Chops.
Dog moms and dog dads out there. So like for example, Jackie Chan, like he's got a fortune, but he's not giving a fortune to his kids.
Yes, I know. I read that.
Donald Trump, like he was given like $1 million from his parents, but then there's like like a lot of people that grew up without nothing, and then now they have they're grinding, they're getting that money. They're like, oh, I just want my next generations to not go through what I'm going through, So, but they make the mistake of like, oh, now they have money,
right.
they shelter them, they don't like expose them to certain things, but then are you passing the wisdom or you feel like what kind of have you thought about how are you gonna raise them where they don't become spoiled?
So I had a little bit of, I'm spoiled. Let's just put it that way. And you would never know because of how humble I am. I've always been spoiled, and it's like I think it's just the person that I've always been, the kid that I've always been. Everyone's loved me, even till today. Everyone loves me. But what I feel when I do have kids, because I do want to have kids in the future, of course, it's a great thing to procreate. But what I feel that I want to teach my kids is, yes, I don't want them to go through things that I had to go through. I had to feel like I was fending for self or out here by myself. I would never want my kids to feel how I ever felt when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I will make my home more so a safe space for them, where they're able to come and talk, or they're able to, I will teach them how to journal their feelings at a young age, so they're able to express that. And hey, if I'm having a bad day, Mom, I can't talk to you right now, but I'll talk to you when I can. Or just being able to be open, but I will still spoil them for being the person that they are going to become, because I know my children will become something greater than what I already am. From knowledge that I teach them, from things that I didn't learn, to teaching them how to manage money, to be whatever they want to be. I will treat them spoiled, but they will also be aware of it, the difference. Exactly.
But also tell them about how to form an LLC.
Yes.
All these things that are
exactly.
Like what to do with your money when you get paid.
Exactly. Even just having an LLC in their name at a young age and passing it to them, like, you already have X amount of money, where you don't have to ask me if you don't. If you need to, you still can, but I set you up already. So that's what I want for when I say spoil, I mean leaving a legacy for them to never feel like if they don't never want to work for someone else, they don't have to. Because I feel like we fight this battle that, we have to pay bills, we have to pay bills, we have to pay bills, and we're not being able to be ourselves and create and do the things that we love. All of our time is going into someone else. So I would teach them that, yes.
Okay, beautiful. I like that response. Yeah, I mean,
Thank
you're still
you.
gonna spoil them.
Yes, of course, they're gonna spoil.
Yeah. No, it's just a question because I mean, I see it a lot where I'm just gonna give my kids what I didn't have growing up, which is good. You don't want them to go through the same struggles that you were going, for sure. But but at the same time, you give them everything, then how they're gonna learn. How they're they gotta make the the little mistakes that they need to make.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You gotta put some parameters on have some training wheels on them, go and do some mistakes.
Yeah. So I feel like rather you teach your kids everything that you learn and give them everything. If a child wants to steer this way and not that way, they're still going to do that. It's a part of life. It's a part of learning life and learning that everyone has their own path. We were all came here for our own path. So rather they make mistakes and they're not going down the straight line that I want them to go down, I would still be appreciative of them learning from that and getting back on course.
To pursue the path that you have
expected
for them.
Exactly. So, I can just teach. The only thing that we can do is teach, and whatever you take from that, you take that.
And that's another thing. You gotta pass the love.
Yes.
Teach them the importance of what Jesus taught, which is surround yourself with love, give love. Love. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's how you overcome fear.
Yes.
The absence of love or the absence of love is the absence of courage and the appearance of fear. So it's a whole going into what's important in life and the perspective thing, and how we have a certain control over our minds and our emotions.
I feel like if we don't have control over anything else, is that mind over matter, is your mind. You got to be able to control your mind to not make certain choices, because after a while, they're not mistakes. Some things are choices. So
exactly.
Yeah, you got to be able to navigate in your mind what is right, what's wrong.
Yeah, because your choices become your habits, and your habits become your character.
Mm-hmm. And that's become your day-to-day. Yes.
Yeah, and What do you say?
I said it becomes your day to day.
Yeah.
Yep. Who you are.
Exactly. And so, I mean, going back to, I mean, choices. You know, like I forgot what I was gonna say with this, but yeah. Anyway, habits are very important. You know, forming habits. You know, like and yeah. Any other? Okay, so you're behind all these great albums. So let's talk about your music.
Okay.
The music that you like, music that you enjoy, and okay, so you pay attention to the words that you say and all that. So what about the music that you listen to?
So as I'm traveling my journey, I can't listen to music that I used to listen to. Yeah. As bad as I want to, because like I know all the lyrics, I can't listen to it. It either gives me a headache, it brings down my frequency, like it'll bring me, like I'll be in a great mood, ready to have a good night, and then someone's playing that music that's like, I'm like, oh, my battery's dying. And I think it's because of the things that I am now feeding myself. It's like kind of like when you change your diet. Yeah. And you try to go back to eating meat when you've been vegan for so long, you get sick. It's kind of like that. So certain things that I used to listen to on the frequencies that I used to frequate on, I can't listen to it now. Music that I like old music now. Like I think I'm tapping into my my ancestral energy now. It's like that. I listen to a lot of like Afro just beats or like drums.
Okay.
I like, if I am listening to like artists, I'm listening to something like R&B, like something soothing with singing. I'm just singing my lungs out too. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like more of a passionate love behind
it
compared to like...
You can feel the difference. Something that was just put out because they needed to put it out there rather than something that has like a lot of soul. Now I'm like made from my soul now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, same. I mean, I try to listen to more, like now, like they call it the dead cult music, where like it's like rappers talking about killing each other. I mean, here and there I listen to that, but I mean, I really...
Yeah, we have our moments.
But there's more like conscious rappers, you know?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I like R&B. I mean, I like hip-hop and R&B, of course, but yeah, like even nowadays, like yeah, it's, like the drill rapping, like drill rap is something that... Like, come on, like we know better than to make music like that. But I understand that it's like a certain like lifestyle, not by choice, but
sometimes that's what's being told to be pushed in the industry.
Right.
So it's like sometimes, like I said before, a while back in the interview, some things are like you can't even blame that person because it's like it's pushed. That's what's pushed now. And it's like, again, mind over matter. What you care to pay mind to, you give matter to as well. We all matter. That's what we're made of.
It's crazy how much music plays into that.
It does.
Because I remember even the movies that we watch.
Yeah.
Because I remember growing up wanting to be either a drug lord or a fucking rapper. You know?
Right, and that's what you see because of what you see and what you hear. Yeah, that's even
like
TV.
Montana, you know, or like not even that, like the drug lords from Mexico, like the cartels from Mexico.
El Chapo, Pablo Escobar. Yeah, you want to do those things. See, it's like even TV shows. I can barely watch TV. I have to watch like a 19 Keys interview or Isis Wisdom or Rashad Jamal. Something that is giving my mind some substance because our brains are literally sponges. I like that. Literally. So if it's not something that I can like...
What about Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
No, I've never watched that. Never. Like not even one season.
You like the first group? Never mind.
No, not even. Like I probably watched it just because I was at someone else's house and they had that on. Yeah. But I probably wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I remember I used to watch Jersey Shore because I used to live with my cousin. I'm like, whatever. Like it was, I got into it, you know. But yeah, it's like reality TV.
Don't watch it.
Yeah.
I have a friend. I have a friend, and she's always watching that, and she's like, "Yep, she doesn't like what Cookie doesn't like watching that." I'm like, no, she already knows. I wouldn't. You can put it on, but I would not pay attention to it.
Right. I mean, you just get involved in the drama
Yeah.
that they're going through, which
Brings
is
you
like
back to what you
made-up
used to
drama.
be. Exactly, made up drama. Made up
I mean,
drama.
I watch sports, but I
Me
mean,
too.
I feel like sports. Like I was talking about this the other day. Like
Mm-hmm.
sports, in a way, was made for guys to have something to talk about, but also because we're super competitive.
Right.
Like, we have a competitive nature as humans, and one of the ways we can compete without killing each other is through sports.
Sports. Yeah.
In games. you
Yeah,
know.
video games, especially the video games. Y'all love video games.
Y'all.
Y'all love video games.
That's why I got rid of my Xbox and all that, because I only have a few games on my phone.
It's crazy because I have games on my phone, but if you see them, they're not the usual games.
I'll have
They're
chess.
like mathematic games or stuff like that.
Yeah, you're always trying to like.
Yes,
work your
mine's always
brain.
on go.
That's another thing though. You can't be like, you gotta make time to relax your mind, to not do anything.
Yeah.
Right? You do that? 'Cause
Yes. It's like, I'll know that I'm doing that, but so much else is going on that I know I also have to do. So I'm like, I try to get so much done, and then I'll be like, yep, I have to shut down. Like, literally the other day I had a moment like that where I had to shut down, went to sleep early. I literally watched people call me while I was actually watching an interview on my phone. I was watching people call me, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't take on their load when I was trying to unpack my baggage from my vacation.
Right. I mean, that's how I felt when I came back from Italy. I was like coming back into present start again to life. Because being gone for 2 weeks and then coming back, and I'm like, wait, do I want to press start?
Right.
I'm like, what do I want to press start to? Like,
Right. So much.
So I was like, okay, I got to be more like conscious of like where the things that I want to do. So I started looking at like, what am I gonna like continue doing, and what should I stop doing? You know what I mean? So it was a good opportunity for that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I do believe that we like the hustle culture, like it can get you somewhere, but it can also affect your health and all that.
Right.
So nowadays I'm going into like the more I guess conscious you become, like the more you learn about yourself, the more you realize that you're not going to overkill yourself in a way for certain things, because at the end of the day we're just here to live.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
live and enjoy life.
Happiness. Happy.
Yeah, and just appreciate the little moments that you have.
Especially
And
with the ones that you love.
because when you're on this race, we all end up at the same place anyway.
Yes.
I don't know, you're close to that, right? Like
No. I'm not close to that.
the job that you used to work for,
Oh, yes. The license. I still work there.
yeah.
Talking about the funeral home. I still work there.
funeral home, yeah.
Yes.
That's where we all end up at.
No. Yeah, that's where your temple ends up at, but I feel like your spirit lives on. Your spirit lives on. Yes.
Exactly.
I actually have a quote in my book. It's actually my favorite quote. I wrote this, and it's crazy. It's not crazy. It's wild. I was working at a warehouse in Georgia. This is when I first moved from Delaware, and I was trying to get into a funeral home. I was having interviews back to back to back. But I was working at a warehouse, and we couldn't have our phones on the floor. So usually when I'm writing my thoughts, I'm putting them in my phone if I don't have paper. So I ran over to the computer. It was like a slip from the truck driver. I'm like, I need the paper. And I wrote it down. And my favorite quote in the book, you'll probably see it a multitude of times, is, I had to plant my soul in the soil to regrow my spirit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta think about that quote. No, I like it though, because it shows how, like, your soul is the main thing that you want to continue to nourish.
Yes.
You know?
Gotta have a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
Opens many doors.
Our bodies is our temple. Because this is where we, like, we're like, as long as we're in this reality, this is where we live, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was just literally watching a video. Lauren Hill was saying that. She was like, I love myself. I live in here, but I will live on. Like, you will live on. Your soul's, like, you know how we have people that die, but it's like they're legends? So they're, like, always going to be remembered. I like to think of myself that way.
Have you seen Coco?
Coco.
The movie?
Yes.
Disney movie?
Yes.
where like that made me realize that like that's why they do Dia de los Muertos.
Yes.
Because
I love that movie, actually.
You remember the people that have passed away. And the less you do that, the less you remember them, the more their spirit kind of like disappears.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to remember the ones that passed. Because
give honor to them, exactly.
And the legends.
Yes.
They're basically remembered by everyone. Like
Exactly.
Muhammad Ali, everyone knows, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like Max, So the spirit lives on. The more you are in people's mind, the more you live. It's crazy, right?
No.
Like,
it's a little wild. But yeah, yes, and that's what I like to think about myself. I tell people when they meet me, I tell them I'm a legend. Because I feel that for my own self. And
I mean, it's also about like living a good mark on people, you know?
Yes.
Like, where people are going to think of you, people are going to see that book, have that book on their shelf, you know, they're going to, and plus everything that's going to live on the internet, you know, it's I think I remember you in, that's how you become a legend. Yeah, so I was thinking about that, like how not everything dies, some things are eternal.
Yes.
And I was thinking, like, if something is eternal, then it doesn't it is not defined by time. Like, time is meaninless to something that's eternal, because it was here prior to time, it would be here after time. Like, time, whenever it started, like, at zero, eternity, like, where it was eternal was already there. So part of it's got to be part of that.
Yeah. I feel like if you don't think of yourself as immortal, you're losing that life. Like, literally. I feel like you have to think of yourself as immortal to know that you're going to always live on. You may not physically be here, but you're going to always live on, because if you're doing your part while you're here, the generations that come will even know who you are. Yep.
All right. Okay. All right. So, I'm not trying to take too much of your beautiful evening, so we're gonna start wrapping things up.
Okay.
But thank you for coming here and
thank you for having me.
Speaking about your book and speaking about all these, important matters. And
yes.
Just sharing your perspective, of course. With that being said, I want to give you like any last words that you want to share, and please let people know where they can follow you.
Yes.
And of course about the podcast that you have and anything else that you want to mention.
Okay, so I want to say thank you first for having me again. I feel like you're not taking too much of my time because we're on divine time, so we're always on time. But I want to say to anyone watching this that no matter how hard life gets, just keep going. No matter what you're going through today, it's not going to trickle on till tomorrow if you let it be just for that moment. Moments are just what they are, what their names are. They're just moments. Have it, and then snap back into reality of who you are, who you're becoming. I also want to say that everyone that's suffering from a silent battle, just know that you're loved. I love you. The world loves you. You have people that love you. You're not alone. And even when you feel that you're alone, sometimes solitude is teaching you the best things in life. So, again, this is For Every Thought, Here's a Cookie, my first book that I've published. The back says a lot, and I feel like the back says a lot so that you can see what's greater inside. It is a limited edition book, so if you need a copy, you can hit me up on my Instagram. It's Yell_bangers, so that's YELL_BANGER with a Z. And for more of this, if you don't like to read, you can get my podcast, and that's on Apple or Spotify, and it's going to be Tranquility with a 7 instead of a L.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Cookie, for coming, and the Port Entertainment. This was another amazing podcast that we did.
Yes.
And until next time.